Morning, welcome back. It's the 13th of May 2023. So I want to start today's video on a high note. And I had some good news last week. As you've probably seen in some of the other videos, the winds had damaged one of the plastic covers on the bottom polytunnel. Now, it's been up a number of years. But with the gales blowing it around, it had got a couple of slits in it. The plastic had gone a bit loose, and with the wind and blowing about, it had actually started to tear near the bottom, and it was starting to get slits in, and I patched it up with some gaffer tape to try and keep it going for this season. Now I reached out to First Tunnels on the off chance that they would maybe be able to help out with the cover, and I'm delighted to say there was no hesitation. First Tunnels came right back to me and said, yes, we can help you out with that, Alan. Give me some measurements and we'll get it sorted out for you. Absolutely fantastic service. And of course I want you to follow along on the reskinning of that polytunnel. We'll show you the quality of the plastic and the reskinning of the polytunnel. And I'd like you to pop over to First Tunnels as well and have a look at the selections to see what they've got. Now I myself had been browsing around First Tunnels website, and I've been saying about putting perhaps another polytunnel over in the grow area over there to cover those beds, and I was undecided whether to make it a fruit cage and or a polytunnel. And the range and selection of polytunnels at First Tunnels is unbelievable. I mean, they are top notch. They are the tunnels you really want, if you can afford them. Unfortunately, there lies the catch. My finances don't stretch. I would love to be able to just purchase a First Tunnels tunnel and get one from there. So what we've got to do is what we always do, is we'll make do with what we can. But first of all, again, a massive thanks to First Tunnels and Matthew for sending over the plastic for the reskinning of the smaller tunnel. So I'd reached out to another few companies to see if they could provide me with a 6 metre by 3 metre tunnel, and unfortunately I had no success. I had a couple of nice replies from some companies, but I didn't have any success with that. So what did I do? Well, I went with affordability, basically. And as I say, I have 2 cheap polytunnels there. And I believe if you put them up correctly, you'll get many years and good value for money. Nothing beats a good top-notch quality polytunnel, but as I say, we've got to make do with what we've got. So with the donations from people that have been supplied the channel, thank you very much, you know who you are, and a bit of my money, what I did was I ordered what I believe is a fantastic value for money polytunnel, but only time will tell on that. Now that isn't sponsored. It was the purchase was held by you guys who made some donations to the channels, plus my own money. And it's 6 metres by 3 metres, and it's on its way. It should be here sometime next week. Now, again, for the size of the tunnel and 25mm galvanised framing, the best I could find was £140. Not only that, that particular one had more strengthening bars across the entire length. Much better, or appears to be much better, than anything else I could find that was in the 200 to 250 range. So only time will tell. Follow me along and we'll see how that pans out. Right, so this is the tunnel that we are going to be reskinning, as you can see. Now, I've been patching it up here and there with gaffer tape, as you can see, but I can see there's another tear in here now as well, look. This particular plastic. But because it's starting to give at the bottom as well, a good wind under there is going to just tear this off completely and going to make a right old hash of it. But it's patched up all over the place, as you can see. So in here I did suspect these cauliflowers were going to bolt on me because of the heat, and that's exactly what happened. But it's not a wasted effort, as I say. There's lots of lovely lush green here, and the chickens are really going to enjoy this. Plus it'll clear this out and we can start getting some tomatoes in. These cauliflowers need to go out now. They're way past being put out. Look at the grass again. I only cut this the other day. Quick look in here. These are the tomatoes that we planted straight in the bed a week ago. They're starting to get trusses on and flower. So much so they were even getting side shoots. So I've pulled some side shoots off and I just popped them into trays here. So this side are red and this side are yellows. So basically what we've done is we've got all planted out with the beans up the poles. And we've got a few surplus for my brother or whoever wants them. Plus we've got a few more over in the tunnel as well. And what I've done is I've put some quick crops in here and I've planted them closely together for a reason. So the Pac Choi, you only want them as small. So I've planted these close together. And as soon as they get sort of that height, we'll harvest them. Then I've put some lettuce, again, close proximity, but I'm going to use these for leaves. And you'll see what I've done to help the beans. I've just simply put these clips on and run the stalk through there loosely until they get a hold. Once they wrap round we can take the clips off. But that's just a way of holding them in the wind until they can get established and get gripped round. Over to the grandkids' bed now, and we've put them some lettuce in as well, and 2 or 3 Pac Choi, again in close proximity so they can use for leaf picking. This beetroot has started coming through now. The other radish that is, the sparkler radish, and this radish is coming through now, as is the beetroot up here. And I've just noticed that the onions are now starting to come as well. So we got those in for the grandchildren. This was supposed to be their bed in their experiment, and I'm doing all the work. They're just going to come and harvest these strawberries, I'll bet, when they're ready, which won't be too long. Probably seeing here, every one of these onions have now bolted. I've been stacking scapes off them all over the place. So I'm just going to pull these out and use what we can, and the rest will go in the compost bin. I want this bed now for growing other things. So once the polytunnel's up over these, all these frames will be surplus, and I'm sure I know someone who will make use of these into the tree house that used to be a tree house, and you'll see it's much tidier in here now. And I made the executive decision to dig out the 2 blood orange trees before I lose them. This has never ever been watered, but it's absolutely sopping wet. Now, there is a theory that melons like plenty of water, so I've put 2 in the end of there and we'll run them up either side of the bed if they survive, and I've put another 2 at this end just in case we lose those, and then we can decide what we're going to do with those. Likewise, this bed, as you can see, is much drier. I've put 2 in this side, 1 here to go up a string, and then I've put my other 3 crimson crushed tomatoes in here as well. Moved the strawberries down onto the bed so that when they're watered, the bottom ones will be able to draw moisture from under the bed. I've moved this up onto the bed, cleared this area, give that a little drink. It only wants a little drink. But these are the 2 blood orange that I've pulled out, and I know, I've learned from experience. I've had these in pots, I've had them in the ground, I've had them back in pots. Yes, they need to be in pots. They do better in pots, so I've put them back into pots to keep them elevated out of all that soggy soil. I'm amazed they even survived through the winter in that, to be honest with you. But I've done likewise with this one as well. So the bottom of the pot can be wet, and if they want the water they can get it. but they want to be elevated, and predominantly around the surface roots wants to be dry. Right, I'm well and truly bushed, wore out. I've done it again, I've done a full day up here. Never mind, there's stuff that wanted doing and it's done now. I just want to thank First Tunnels again for donating the plastic to enable me to be able to reskin that polytunnel, which will be coming in the next video or two. So thank you very much again, First Tunnels. As always, thanks for all your likes, dislikes, comments, subscriptions, suggestions and your donations. It really does make a big difference, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for everybody who follows along, and if you haven't already subscribed, why not subscribe and watch this polytunnel build coming up. And it's totally free and it doesn't cost anything. For now, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be practical and keep yourselves out of harm's way. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.